An unofficial dictionary declares that a hot take is a take that may cause some controversy, but will allow you to say that you called it. And a cold take is still an impressive take, but is generally more reasonable or expected. I have 10 takes about this NBA season that start coldish and get extremely hot. I don't expect everything I say to be right, but I have reasoning for it all. Coming in at 10 on my scale, we have my opinion that the Bulls will finally have a fire sale and it will be early in the season. More specifically, I mean the Bulls will trade all of Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball, Nikola Vucevic, Javon Carter, and Torrey Craig. All 5 of these players are veteran players that have no use to being on the Bulls squad anymore, especially now that the Bulls have fully embraced a much-needed youth movement. Zach LaVine is showing an ability to take a step back in benefit of a team, increasing his value. Lonzo Ball just needs to showcase himself and prove who he is on both ends, and teams will line up to take him on the final year of his contract. There is a clear need for a big for many teams in the NBA, making a Vucevic trade highly likely. And then both Torrey Craig and Javon Carter are great defensive role players who will have suitors. All 5 have value, and there is no need to keep them attached to this Bulls team, making this take a relatively cold one, but when you think about it closely, trading 5 players by one deadline is kind of a lot, so that's where the hotness comes in, if there is any hotness with this take. The 9th spot on my scale and list centers around the most unlucky franchise in the NBA, the Los Angeles Clippers, and my take is simply that I believe they will not make the playoffs this year. There are mixed feelings about this year's Clippers team as they lost Paul George yet added many vets and quality players to match that production. The only problem is that without James Harden and Kawhi, this team will struggle, and both players are extremely unreliable, whether it be inconsistency or health. Even if both players are playing, this team can be game planned for, and unless James Harden brings back his Houston playing days, I don't see how this team can consistently compete in the Western Conference. There is a chance they make the playoffs, but I see 12 teams better or just as good as them, making it hard to see them in the playoffs again. My next take is that the 2025 MVP race is already down to just 2 players, Luka Doncic and SGA, and the one with the better record will get the award. Obviously, we all can come to a consensus that the likely conversation between MVP will be revolving around both players, but the controversy comes about me saying it is already down to a 2-man race. Looking at it deeper, my stance is that Jokic will probably not win again, given voters. Giannis and Embiid both have health and negative attention around them, and the rest of the field will likely not do anything statistically great enough to surpass Luka and Shea. So that's where that comes from, and I believe that the voters will be choosing between one of the two, and ultimately the record will be the deciding factor. I believe that the Thunder will be better in the regular season, so I lean Shea when I predict the award for this reason. At 7, we have a take that I'm just frustrated could even be considered a hot take because it's really not crazy to say, and although it's moderately cold on my list, it should be more of a consensus in my eyes. This take is that the Bucks are dangerously underrated. I get it. The Bucks are a team that has had horrible moments the past few seasons, and many other problems can be traced back to health and age. Here's my thing though. No matter how bad their bad moments have looked, they still manage to be atop the East and look like dangerous contenders year in and year out. If you are concerned about their health, I get it, but at the same time, they almost beat the Pacers without Giannis playing a single game, and Dame was in and out of the lineup. In the offseason, they added Gary Trent Jr., Taurean Prince, and DeLon Wright, quality veteran role players that will be greatly effective around the duo of Giannis and Dame, and Gary Trent Jr. can pick up the slack for a player like Middleton and provide a scoring option outside of the duo. They picked up 3 guys that can defend and can take pressure off of their stars in different ways. To ignore these additions and not come to the realization that all 3 of them are quality defensive players is something I just cannot do, and it was, in fact, their number one flaw as a team last year, and this is why I can't agree with any take that is already counting the Bucks out before the season starts. Giannis is a player that nobody wants to see on the opposing team. Dame has people thanking the higher power when he misses a shot while he's in his bag. These 2 players can do so much damage, and that doesn't factor in how much the roster around them has improved. It is truly crazy how easily this team is being overlooked at this moment in time, and that is why I believe they are dangerously underrated. Take number 6 holds a little bias, and if you watch a lot of content on my channel, you've heard this take before, but This take is that the 2025 Phoenix Suns team will have the best offense in the NBA. No matter how badly the Suns struggled last season, especially in the fourth quarter, it was clear that they just needed a true point guard to run the offensive trio. They added an elite point guard in terms of assist to turnover ratio, pace of play, and overall point guard ability in Tyus Jones. Tyus Jones will have an incredible impact on this team's offense, as Booker, Beal, and KD will all be allowed to focus on scoring rather than playmaking now. This makes the team deadly on offense, and all the other players that don't play the five are snipers from behind the arc, and assuming that the Suns will have a high pace of play now that they have a true lead guard, there isn't much a team can do to stop them on that end. Coming in at 5 on the scale, we have my belief that this is LeBron's last year as a Laker if the Lakers disappoint again. I don't think this is too hot of a take, but understanding that LeBron signed a contract extension to stay in LA this offseason, and Bronny is now on the team as well, it is hard to see him leave unless it is by way of retirement, which could happen. I personally believe we are heading into LeBron's second to last season, and I personally believe his career is going to end in Cleveland, where it all started, and the only way he doesn't want to go home is if the Lakers are successful this season. Saying he will return to Cleveland is definitely why this take is on the hotter side of my scale, but to think about it from a standpoint that he loves Cleveland so much that he makes it a part of his brand, it is not ridiculous to say he wants to end his career there. Take number 4 centers around the Cavs and is as follows. The Cavaliers will trade at least one of or both of Jared Allen and Darius Garland by the deadline. This Cavs team has had times where they look like a dangerous team in the league, then they have moments where they look subpar given the talent on their roster. The thing to note is that their best moments have been while players are hurt because Jared Allen and Evan Mobley don't fit together as well as you'd like, and Darius Garland just cannot play next to Donovan Mitchell. Unfortunately for Garland and Mitchell, the team will be building around Mitchell and Mobley as they are the core of the team at this point. No matter how you look at it, one thing is clear. The longer the Cavs hold on to all four, the more time they waste, as there is just no possibility of success with all four on the roster, when 2 players are going to be limited when all 4 are healthy. That's just the sad reality of the situation. My take is fueled by the belief that the Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley extensions this offseason are signs that the franchise is stepping into the right direction as they focus on building a team that can complement both of them. It is also fueled by my belief that they will get packages for Jared Allen specifically that they just cannot turn down, as many teams in the league are desperate to add a true center, and he is elite at what he does. Both could be held on to, but if they are, the Cavs are limiting themselves, so hopefully they come to the realization and make my take correct. We are getting to the point of burning hot takes that are uncomfortable, and with take 3, we state that the Minnesota Timberwolves are better now than they were with Cat. If you have not paid attention to the NBA in the past month, Karl-Anthony Towns is now a member of the New York Knicks, while Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo are now members of the Timberwolves. It is easy to say that Cat is better than both Randle and Dante, and that is not the point I'm trying to make. The point is that the talents of both of them are better suited for what the Timberwolves need. In the playoffs, outside of Anthony Edwards, the shot creation and shot making was dreadful when it mattered most, as the offense was extremely reliant on Anthony Edwards to do everything. No matter how much better Cat is than Randle as a player, Randle is a better shot creator, and that is going to be huge next to Ant, as it will take pressure off of him, as well as create easier looks for him. Say what you want about the floor spacing, but Dante DiVincenzo is a better shooter than everyone on the Timberwolves roster, and if the spacing is an issue during a game, you can always put Naz Reid in the game, a player who outplayed Cat on many occasions last postseason. The depth of this team is amazing, and they will have one of the best benches in the league, along with a top-level coach who will know how to use each player when needed. Now that they don't have Cat, there's no restriction or need to please a $50 million a year player, and the coach and the team has more freedom. Cat is great, but the team is better now without him. Take number 2 is burning, and the take is that the Nuggets championship window has already closed. It is definitely crazy to think that a team that just won a championship not even 2 full years ago is now a team that looks like they might not even sniff a finals appearance for a little bit. But that is the harsh reality the Nuggets are looking at. They have lost two key pieces from the team that just so happen to be their best perimeter defenders, and to add insult to injury, Jamal Murray is not Jamal Murray, leaving massive questions at both guard positions. Jamal Murray disappointed in the playoffs last year, and it didn't get better as the performance he had in the Olympics with Team Canada was even more dreadful, and then in preseason he has looked awful too. This is not a good sign at all, and the fact that we can normally brush off his performances because of how good he is in the playoffs is something we cannot do now, as he was not good in the postseason either. I know that overreacting in the preseason isn't something I should do, but the signs are all pointing towards him not being able to be the vintage Murray we saw in his career. With Murray becoming an issue and the question marks at the two, combined with the lack of a good or even decent bench, it is safe to say that something massive such as trading Michael Porter Jr. is the only thing that can save the team from a free fall. And I don't even know how that would work in a way that it benefits the team greatly. So the Nuggets might just be stuck at this point. And now we have the hottest take of the video, and this take is that the Knicks starting five is better than the Celtics starting five. Let me get this out the way. I do not by any means think the Knicks are a better team than the Celtics in any way. I just believe the Knicks' first five is better than the Celtics, and that too may seem crazy to say. On paper, how I look at it, you have the starting five of Brunson, Bridges, Hart, Anunoby, and Cat, compared to the Celtics five of Holiday, White, Brown, Tatum, and Porzingis. All great matchups head to head, but the Knicks have the advantage at the two guard spots, while the Celtics have the advantage in the two forward spots. So a 2-2 split, and the deciding factor is now the center spot, which is between Cat and Porzingis. I don't think it really has ever been a debate about who is better between the two. The only question that comes now is how well Cat fits in with the Knicks, as we already know Porzingis is a match made in heaven for the Celtics. Personally and realistically, it is hard to not see Cat fitting in well with his new teammates, and because he is the deciding factor in this comparison of starting fives, I think him being better than Porzingis already makes this take easy to come by, and that is why I believe with a 3-2 advantage, the Knicks have the better starting five. And yeah, that's all I got for you. Those are my 10 craziest takes, ranked from coldest to hottest for this upcoming NBA season. I do have more, but we'll save them for the NBA season. But you comment down below in your comments your craziest takes. I know the comments are going to be crazy given some of these takes. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you want to see my reaction to the Karl Anthony Towns trade, click on the video on the screen. Y'all stay safe. Have a good one. Bye.